Hello there, pumpkinists! Happy winter, y'all! Now that it's Festiva's Day, time has come to light our fires and dress our houses in the most garish of colors so that we may strengthen Festiva and her demon hunt to continue protecting us and bringing light to the earth on this darkest of days. Festiva's Day is one of our biggest holidays and certainly one of our most important, as we might not survive the winter without it, but where did this holiday come from and how have our enlightened ancestors celebrated this day? Well, the day of the longest night has been observed by humans for centuries. We believe maybe even as far back as the Neolithic period, with evidence that several monuments that still exist to this day were created with the express purpose of being aligned with the sunrise on Festiva's Day, including Newgrange in Ireland and, perhaps the most famous Neolithic monument, Stonehenge. All of this fits with Festiva being the oldest accomplice and the most active in the world. Her worship must have been spread by her messengers like the Black Fox and others. And the way that these monuments are built was designed to focus the worshippers so that they could give Festiva strength, as she shepherds the sun into the sky on the most difficult day out of the year to do so. You heard it here first, folks. Stonehenge was actually built in honor of Festiva. The next place for Festiva's worship to turn up in the historical record is with the Romans. Now, the Romans had several holidays around the winter solstice, most popularly Saturnalia to celebrate the god of agriculture, and Juvenalia to celebrate the children of Rome. But to be honest, neither of these celebrations fit with Festiva's deal, and the Romans sort of just loved to party. Although one aspect they did not miss was the consumption of grain foods on Saturnalia, including, I am sure, an ancient version of Festiva's bowl, the divine food, mac and cheese. Nevertheless, the Romans did have a celebration around this time that fits with our favorite purple war witch. While they missed the date by approximately 4 days, celebrating it on December 25th. Imagine that, a holiday on December 25th. Well, the Romans never were good at math anyways. Mithra, later mixed with Sol and Vishtus, the god of the unconquered sun, was an ancient Persian god of light who gave power to the sun, who was the leader of the Iranian Ahuric triad, and a shepherd of the herd of magical cattle. So let me get this right. We've got an incredibly old god of light and fire who helps the sun but doesn't represent it, and who is the most powerful deity in a triad of powerful deities, who is accompanied by a pack of magical animals? Mithra's just a gender-flipped Festiva! Vindication! Anyways, the next place we see similar celebrations crop up is in the Japanese holiday of Toji, which involves the burning of large bonfires. In fact, the bonfires can burn so bright on Mount Fuji that they can be seen from the surrounding countryside. This holiday is clearly celebrated for similar reasons to Festiva's Day, to power an incarnation of Festiva as she shepherds the sun through the night. The final holiday we shall visit will take us up north from there, way north. The Norse clearly worshipped the warrior goddess side of Festiva, whose demon hunt's breath as they charged across the sky created the aurora borealis, bringing light to the winter even in the parts of the earth where the sun cannot make it. They had a tradition of Yule in honor of the god Odin and his wild hunt, a terrifying parade of canine-like demons across the sky, wherein they would light one end of the largest log they could find on fire and then feast until it burned out, which could take as long as a week and a half. I'm sure they partook of Festivus Bowl during this time as well. Several parallels can be drawn from this to Festivus Day. Of course, the fire and the feasting, albeit of specific foods, are definitely a part of Festivus Day. Also, there are several connections between Festiva and Odin, as both of them are wise warriors who have aspects of soothsayers and scrying. Additionally, the wild hunt is functionally incredibly similar to Festiva's demon hunt, to the degree of being certainly the different interpretations of the same thing. But the most interesting connection to Festivus Day, in my opinion, is the burning of the log, similar to our lighting of fires on Festivus Day. This, in addition to Mithra being a god of light and fire, shows a pattern of winter solstice holidays having a theme of light and warmth. So why is this? Well, the simplest explanation for this is that it was in the middle of a cold, dark winter. One needs absolutely no spirituality at all to see the logic in including heat and light in one's celebrations during this time. And for the vast majority of human history, fire was the only source of both of these. Fire also provides a sense of safety and is the best place to gather together, during a time when we already associate with being with others due to all of us spending more time inside. Winter, however, is also a time associated with loneliness and isolation due to the naturally depressing nature of the dark and cold. This naturally extends to the gods, too, as the planet plunges into a frightening cold void. One can't help but feel that surely whoever protects them normally has left them alone. This applies to the Church of the Great Pumpkin as well, as our main deity and 1/3 of the accomplices have perished, and the second is off wandering, protecting the last patch. And while we are left with a competent and powerful protector, her hunt is responsible for the winter winds, and she isn't a naturally comforting presence, as while we have focused on her fire and protector aspects in this video, we must remember that her other domains do include war and violence. Additionally, Festiva is the witch, and in the past, witches have been associated with a character called Satan. You may know him as the Bible's main antagonist, a connection most people tend to be uncomfortable with, even though Satan is clearly fake, as opposed to Festiva. But wait, if you remember back to my last video, you remember that we discovered that Festiva is functionally a human with god powers. And as I just said, we light fires throughout the winter to maintain a sense of communal connection with our peers through the most depressing and isolating time of the year, but her only 2 peers are dead, or at least inside of an inaccessible metaphysical demiplane, so she has no one to be close to. And her only company is a raving hunt of maniacal, howling canines, her metaphorical sled dog team, across the cold and impersonal winter sky. Festiva is lonely. We have proof that she has struggled before, and that was with a task as small as breaking an enchanted ice coffin, but her task every winter is to bring light to the sun, light of the sun to the earth is such a greater magnitude that she requires our support to increase her strength, but maybe more than that. Maybe by lighting our fires on the 21st of December, we're including Festiva in our groups, our circles, making her our peer, maybe lighting fires doesn't just give her power, but also emotional support. We're helping Festiva with her loneliness, just as we spend time with our loved ones, to alleviate our own. Well, after taking an hour or 2 off from filming to gather my thoughts, I'm finally ready to return and finish off this awful behemoth of a video. Lighting on fire on Festiva's Day is a powerful spiritual ritual that has been undertaken on or around the winter solstice by our ancestors from around the globe. Its purpose is to give Festiva energy as she shepherds the sun's light to us on the darkest day of the year. She and her demon hunt stampede through the night all winter, making the winter winds howl and creating curtains of colorful light in the north. And we take a day of the year to light fires in her honor and to give her strength. However, the fires also serve the purpose of bringing humans together during the dark and lonely winter. And we light fires as well to include Festiva in our familial and peer units, to alleviate the awful loneliness that she must feel as the most human of the accomplices. Not only is this holiday an enjoyable time for us to spend with friends and family and to be warmed by the fire, we should also all take a moment to invite Festiva into our circles, so that we and she may be stronger and healthier, mentally and physically, for it. Well, friends, I hope that your presents are thoughtful, your fire is warm, and your family is close today. Goodbye.